everyone. Jackknife Stiletto here. Music Monday. We're here with Joe Rock. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. Good. And you're in the Long Island, right?
Yeah. Yes. But it's not in, it's on. Come on.
On the Isle of Long.
You're really going to give me a hard time about this. But yes, I'm here on Long Island.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're in it, you'd have to be like underground or something. I guess if you take the subway, does that mean you're in Long Island?
Long Island doesn't have a subway.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, wait.
Queens.
Let's qualify, because Queens and Brooklyn are part of Long Island, and they do have subways. So yes.
Yeah. Then you're inside it.
We've gone down a bad road already.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the live stream. That's it.
It's not in the fact that let's see if I can do this right. Oh, no. Here we go. Your logo looks like it's kicking me in the head.
Yes.
I'm just trying to point out to it. I'm like, hey, how do I do it? Where am I?
I know everything's backwards. It's like mirror image.
I know it is on here because I always go to touch my head and I feel like
it's on the wrong side.
I'm on the wrong side. But anyway, what have you been up to?
Well, since the whole pandemic began, I never stopped work. So I've been going in. For those people who don't know, besides being a musician, I'm also on the air at WBAB, Long Island's only classic rock. And I've been going into work every day since this whole thing began. Like, we never stopped going into the studio. They really cut a lot of the people in it, but at least I got to have that still because, like everybody else, gigs, came to a screeching halt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now, with your bands, have you guys been rehearsing? Have you been doing any live streams, or has it been like?
We've been pretty much dead. What happened, and you have to realize this, and like some of you have met the guys in my band, some of you have not. I'm the youngest guy in the band, so we go to the other guys, and some of them are in the danger zone for everything, and we're just being cautious. And just waiting our time out. And also, too, like a lot of the things that I looked at is a lot of the musicians we know, this is strictly how they earn their living. This is it. They go out and they do gigs. So for us to be competing with them in live streams didn't seem right to me. I did a few acoustic live streams, but they were all for charity. Like, I did them and asked people to make donations to charities. I did just a few of them. And I just didn't really want to mess in that area because it's like, I get it. I get the people who that's their sole income stream. They don't need to be competing with me.
Yeah. Well, that's very nice of you guys. Absolutely.
Plus, hopefully it'll build anticipation for when we return in 2021. Because, we actually... Now, I'm going to be a little bit vague here, and you're going to try and ask me the answer to a question here, and I'm not going to give it to you, but I'll tell you this much. So there had been a national artist I had been trying for a long time to get us to be an opening act for. And we were supposed to open up for this artist in September. And now the date has been pushed to September 2021, and their management has told me, save that date. So, I'm trying to just keep like, okay, you know what? Bar gigs and stuff like that will come back, but I'd really like us to be at a bigger level, and I know that you guys understand that, and you worked in the thing. It's just, I've always approached it from a different standpoint because I was so much more of a cover guy. It's not that I don't have my own stuff, but I'm just like, I have so much more fun when I go out and I play and people know the songs I play, and not a lot of people know our stuff, but all of a sudden, the last national act we played with was February. We opened up for 38 Special at the Paramount. And there were like all these people, because we'd been getting a decent amount of gigs there, that all of a sudden, all these people like turned out for us in bigger numbers. And, and all this, next thing I know, this guy's like, hey, I hope you don't mind. I put your whole setup on YouTube. I'm like, okay, it's just... I'm like, I'll go with it. I'll take it, you know?
Yeah.
Now, when you put a song on a CD, is it on the CD or is it in the CD?
On the CD.
Just
The
kidding.
CD is in the
You see
case.
it. You take a look. You can see it. You can see the different color where there's actually something imprinted on the CD. So it's on it.
So we're on Long Island. We're on the CD. All right.
Yes.
Just to clarify for everyone in the chat.
Uh,
So real quick, just hello to everyone in the virtual realm, whether you're watching on Twitch or Facebook or YouTube. Hello. Thank you for joining us.
if you have any questions, feel free to write them in the chat, and we'll answer them if they're appropriate.
And maybe if they're not.
What if we? Yeah, I was going to say. What if we want to answer the inappropriate?
Yeah, sometimes. Great. Now we're gonna get inappropriate questions. Okay. How about those guitars and stuff you got on your wall? What do you got?
Oh, what do I got? What do I start with? All right. So this one is a 70s hardtail Strat. So try to take it off the wall. For the people who don't know.
Yay, show and tell.
So to do like up close, most of the time when you see a Strat, you're used to seeing a tremolo bar, whammy bar, whatever. But this one strings through the body and it's a solid piece of wood. So it's a hardtail. So it doesn't move at all because I'm more of a rhythm player, so that fits me better. And then another thing that's an oddball for it is it's a 3-bolt neck. Most of the time a Strat's got a 4-bolt neck, and just underneath this bolt, which you're probably not going to be able to see, underneath it, there's a micro adjust for the neck, to adjust the neck. And then it's, like I said, because it's the 70s, it's got that big headstock on it. And I got to give a shout out to these guys too. On the other side, let's see if I can get this one. This one is a gorgeous guitar.
We already got a question. Are you in a guitar shop?
No, I'm at home. This is home. This is this one here. This is a Michael Kelly guitar.
Oh, we went there before we all
Before
got
COVID.
stuck at home. Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. Did you meet Steve, who runs the place?
Yeah, we met him at NAMM, and then he invited us to come to their headquarters, and we went, and Roxy and I went and tried out a bunch of guitars and basses and stuff.
Yeah, I'm very happy with this one. This is actually one that my ring light's reflecting in it. This is one actually that they got to me for the 38 special gig that we did in February. For all the guitar heads out there, it's a 3 pickup setup, even though it's looks like a Telecaster, sounds like it most of the time. It's got a 3-position switch, just like it was a Telecaster, but a toggle switch which turns on and off the middle pickup that you can turn it into like a Strat kind of sound as well. And it's great, looks beautiful. I love the finish on this thing. The Michael Kelly guitars,
Nice.
I think they call it boutique within a budget. You can afford the guitars, all kinds of crazy stuff here. Most of my acoustics are Alvarez's, and then this is the one I play almost all the time. This is the one that's been with me. I bought this one brand new in 1988.
Nice.
So, it doesn't seem old to me, but all of a sudden I sit and think about it, and I'm like, all right, so 1988, that was 32 years ago. Yay! I created my own vintage instrument.
Oh, we have a comment in the chat about our question whether a song is in or on.
Uh-oh.
Grumpy says, I say on, but if you want to be pedantic, the aluminum layer that actually holds the song is covered by a layer of protective material to keep it from oxidizing, flaking off, etc. So the song is literally in the CD. That sounds wrong, though.
Well, I'm going to go with conventional wisdom on that, because most of the time people say, how many songs do you have on the CD?
Yeah. Exactly. I do like the wall setup though that you have back there. That's such a great idea to kind of do.
That was actually my wife. When we moved into our first place together. I mean, I used to live in a 1-bedroom apartment, and I had all my guitars in their cases lined up on one wall. And as I went up to do gigs, I'd be like, I'll take that one, I'll take that one. And then she's like, you never have them displayed. Why don't you put them on a wall? And I was like, I don't know if I have enough room. And she's like, well, what if you did like slot wall? And I just went out and bought a couple of pieces of it, and my brother-in-law put them up in my old place, and then we moved into this place. And actually, when we looked at it, I'm like, that's the wall. We're going to do the wall there. We're going to put the drums there. We're going to put this there. And that's me. It's like, when we bought our last place, I walked into our basement. And I was like, looked around. I'm like, this is a studio. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, we got an alcove over there. That's going to be the control room. We got this over there. And she's like, we're not buying a place just because you want a studio. Okay. And then we got it. Because it had a fireplace, and that's what she wanted. So, happy wife, happy life. So
nice little compromise. You got your studio. Yes. You got our fireplace. Good.
Yes, exactly.
I would also look for a studio, not a fireplace.
I'd look for both.
It's nice to have both, I gotta say.
Ever since Hurricane Sandy, I never want to live anywhere where I don't have a fireplace, or I can at least go to have a relative or a friend who has a fireplace, because the power goes out for weeks at a time. It's your only source of heat. Yeah.
Of course, it doesn't help when we had the power go out in the summertime. We had that big storm. The fireplace was of no use.
Yep. Well, you can live when you're too hot, but you'll freeze to death if you're cold. So.
There's so many blankets.
We have some comments. They said the wall is nice. It's a wall of sound.
Oh, well, thank you.
I know. I'm like, if I ever live anywhere else, then I'm gonna do. I think the whole apartment should be lined like that, and then you just have guitars and cables and everything just hanging up everywhere.
Exactly. It's perfect.
Yeah. What's great is now you don't even have to find where the studs are, right? You can hang it anywhere on that wall.
Well, we made sure that we connected it to the studs on there. So we found that anything you just wanted, because there's a lot of weight on it. When we actually did this in the last place, right behind me.
So you don't want
the Les Paul has all the weight. And I had put it up in the corner of one thing, and all of a sudden I'm down there one day, and I'm like, why does that look weird? And the slot wall was hanging away from the wall behind it where the Les Paul was. And I'm like, we missed the stud there. We got to hit it. So.
Yep. Yeah, because I have a few hanging on my wall, but I had to, I don't have the slot wall. I have just the individual hangers.
Right.
So we had to use the stud finder.
Yeah, originally, that's why I was like, I didn't have enough room, because there's an upper level and a lower level of guitars too, and then I had to go through this whole thing, because there's different length hangers that come out from the wall. So some are close to the wall and some are farther away from the wall. It really is like a guitar shop. It's crazy.
I want one.
Well, when all this is over, you guys can come and jam here. I mean, we'll do a thing. I keep trying to get some good things going on here. We've done a couple, prior to the pandemic, we did some cool live broadcasts out of here and stuff. So, cool. I would definitely do that again in the future. And, two of you have jammed with us before.
Yep. Is someone using a hammer? Is anyone else hearing banging?
No.
I hear that banging, but I don't know where it's coming from.
It's probably your mom.
We told you to close the door.
Yeah.
She's just in a Zoom call.
Room.
I don't think she's doing construction.
You never know.
Maybe she's hanging some paintings.
Running around everywhere. Yeah, I would have a problem with hanging things. I just go for things, and I don't really, look for the right places to hang things. I'm just like, yeah, it should work.
If you're just hanging light paintings, then it's fine. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's only if it is something heavy, then you have to find the stud.
I did want to hang up my shark guitar, because that's a display piece, but
that one's kind of heavy, right?
Shark guitar?
I do have a shark guitar. Actually, it's not here right now. I brought it to my mother's house in New Jersey, so I would have a guitar there when I go visit.
Yeah, but I was saying, you don't gig with that? I know I've seen it, but you don't gig with it?
Don't, because it's it doesn't sound bad, but it's very top heavy, and the fin just comes across, and literally if I probably bent down, I'd probably get myself in the neck, but literally if I go, if I'm not holding it up, it's literally just whoop whoop.
Yeah. Oh, and I see Guy checked in. Hey, Guy.
Hi, Guy. I was just gonna say your wall kind of reminds me of ball music.
There you go. Yeah, I've been there plenty enough times. I haven't been there in a while, but what the heck? You had something. Guy had something recently up that he displayed on like Facebook or something. I was like, I don't think I've been really into a music shop since the pandemic began. But if I was going to go into a music shop, it was going to be to buy whatever that guitar was. Of course, now he's going to be like, wait, which one? I'll sell it to you.
He just said, I know those guitars. So yeah, for everyone in the chat, go if you need to go to a music store, go to All Music in Plainview. Guy's the owner.
Tell Guy we sent you.
Tell Guy. Mm-hmm. So you said you have a project coming up that you're working on. Are we allowed to talk about that, or is that hush? Did I just spoil something?
Shh, the secret.
No, we can do Uber guitar. I'm gonna ignore that. Well, I'm working on something. Like I said, I'm a radio guy, and I'm working on doing a syndicated show. And one of the things I did was reach out. I've been lucky to get to meet a lot of artists, and I think it surprises them when they start talking to somebody they think is a radio guy, and then find out you're a musician too. And then it kind of changes the dynamic. And so I've been able to become friendly with a lot of different artists. And I'm really surprised when the guy's like, well, shoot me a text and let me know when you get to the venue. And I'm like, I would shoot you a text, but I don't have your number. Totally expecting they'll be like, oh, okay, well, ask for this person. And they'll be like, oh, here's my cell number. And I'm like, okay, I didn't expect that. Because these are like, as it is, I got a guy in my band who had #1 records when I was in high school. So it's like Mark the Animal Mendoza from Twisted Sister. Twisted Sister had hit records when I was in high school, and now the guy's in my band. It kind of throws me off a little bit sometimes. But, what you get to find is everybody's just everybody. So one of the things I did in trying to get in working towards this syndicated show that hopefully will launch in the spring is I contacted all these artists, and I'm like, do me a favor, record a thing talking about how we're listening to the show. And I mentioned to Annie before we got on that I reached out to her boss and your label mate, so probably actually all your bosses, reached out through some people to Joan Jett and was able to get some IDs from her for the show, and reached out to a mutual friend we have in Cherie Curry from the Runaways, and asked Cherie to give me some stuff, and she did. Got some stuff from George Thorogood, got some stuff from who else did I get? A couple of the guys from Blue Oyster Cult who we've opened for a couple times. Don Barnes from 38 Special, Rick Nielsen from Cheap Trick, who was a real great guy. And I was talking to him, and he found out I was awesome. A musician. Yeah, and he was just like, well, because you guys opened for them up in Portchester, right?
Yeah, they're great. Yeah.
And I was talking to him, and Rick's like, and I was like, well, you got a lot of guitars, and I'm really a tele guy. And he's like, well, I don't have a Telecaster. But, well, no, he's like, I got a Telecaster, I got a Broadcaster, I got this, I got that, I got the other thing. I play Mesa Boogie amps. He's like, I don't have any Mesas, but come down to the venue, and you can play whatever you want. And I was like, dude, don't tease me, because I'm going to come down to the venue expecting to sit and play guitar. And I'm like, so don't say that. He's like, I just said it. He's like, so set it up with Carla, and I'll see you there. And I was like, okay. And I get off the phone, and I'm like, who is Carla?
Their tour manager. She actually
got found that out. Yes, I found that out. She got
us the gig with them. She's awesome.
Yeah, she's great people. And I found out who she was, and I sent her an email, and I didn't hear back. And then the day of the gig, I still hadn't heard back, so I emailed again that morning, and she's like, oh, yeah. Also, and she set everything up, and she took care of me. And, I came down and sat with Rick before the show, and then she's like, here, just in case you need it, here's some passes so you can go wherever you need to go during the show. Mm-hmm. And she was the one who I reached out to get to Rick to get the IDs for the show, and nice. She took care of me. Yeah, it's like,
Did he throw any guitar picks at you?
Yes, and I have video of it. Because actually, so one of the things I try and do every time I meet different artists is film short videos with them that I can use on social media. And I try to do stuff that I can use over and over and over again. So Rick's birthday is coming up on December 22nd, because I was just going over the December birthdays, and I have a video where we're talking about his birthday, and in the middle of it, he starts throwing pics at the camera.
He does. I would see him back
right here, on purpose.
Yeah, anyone that takes video side stage, he constantly throws pics at them.
But his aim is so on.
His aim's so good.
And he points at you first, like where he's going to throw it. So he's like...
Well, he gets to a certain point in the show, and he's got like, it's got to be a tub that's about this big. And he just goes through and he grabs a whole fistful, and he acts like he's playing. And I'm like, there's no way he's playing right now. And he just throws out a fistful into the audience.
One time he got me, it was on like a pop-out truck, one of the nicer like stage line truck, not like, the little guys, but I was on the floor of it and he got me. It was outside too, across the stage and down there, and he still got me in the head. I'm like, I mean, this is like some type of like special, like this should be like in the Guinness World Records, like best pick thrower in the world. Like,
that's the new Olympic sport.
It should be Olympic sport. I mean, come on.
Olympic pick tossing.
Yeah, it's hard too. Like I've tried it. It's hard.
Well,
Maybe that's something I should be doing during the pandemic. Just try to throw.
What did you learn during quarantine?
How to throw guitar picks like Rick Nielsen.
I throw them away just to get rid of them, because I play with heavy picks and I'm ready to go to extra heavy, just because like certain songs that I play, the way I dig into them when it's rhythmic, in one song I will chew it down so it'll be a straight line. And I just take it between my fingers and throw it. And it has a good thing. And my old guitar player, who some of you know, Johnny Cola, used to think like I dropped them or something. And he was like picking them up and throwing them back to me. And I'm like, what are you doing?
I don't want
so finally one day, I'm like, it's done. I'm like, take a look at it. There's no way I can use it.
I did see him, not obviously recently, but probably one of the last shows I went to. I feel like I saw him. I saw him at like KJ Farrell's maybe in the beginning of the year.
I once almost hit someone right in the eye with a shard of a broken stick.
Now you're not allowed to throw them at.
Not allowed to throw sticks. That one wasn't even thrown on purpose. I was playing. We're doing a drum and percussion battle with Chad Smith with his side project in the city at the Iridium, and I was playing timbales, and I was using the really thin timbale sticks, and I just took one good whack and it just snapped. And I mean, the way it split, it was like a dagger. And if someone caught it on video, and they're right behind the guy who literally had to duck and cover because it almost got him right in the eyeball.
Right about then, you learned about insurance and gigs. And
yeah, and that's a classy venue. They don't mess around there.
What happened to Mel? Oh, she's in jail.
She's in jail.
She's got assault charges. So now I'm really curious. We've been talking to a lot of musicians on these chats every Monday, but you are the first radio guy that we have talked to.
Okay.
What has changed as far as getting music on the radio, or has it changed getting new music? I mean, I know you guys play classic rock, but still you have some of those classic artists who come out with new songs that you guys play as well. Has that changed during quarantine because less people are recording or putting new records out, anything like that?
It hasn't changed during quarantine, but what it is, this is something that everybody misses. Because I had a guy stop me one time, and it happens all the time because I straddle that line between radio guy and musician. And the guy stops me and he's like, "Oh, I got this song I want to send to you to get on the radio." I'm like, "Yeah, but we play classic rock." And he's like, "But that's what it is." I'm like, "No, you don't understand. When we say classic rock, we mean a song that was such a big hit that it's a classic. It's not a style of music. It's, that's the definition." And he couldn't grasp it. And it's like, look, I get it. And it's, it's a whole different thing. But because the world is so different, look, when I was in high school, you had one way to hear music, and that was the radio. And then MTV came along, changed it slightly, but even still, MTV doesn't even play music anymore. I mean, they're all reality shows. I don't even know why they still have M in the name, but there's so many different things going on. Just like we're doing this now, it's on Facebook, it's on YouTube, it's on Twitch. We do all different kinds of things through social media. So I do as much as I can with bands that I think people will dig. So that's where we do it. So who did I just interview? All right, so I'm actually on a few different radio stations around the country. So Jimmy Vaughn, you guys recognize the name? Is that a yes? Is that a no? Verbal? No? Okay.
I'm afraid to say no because I feel like I should know who it is.
Okay. Jimmy Vaughn is Stevie Ray Vaughan's older brother.
Okay.
So Jimmy...
Oh, I thought you said Jimmy Lawn.
No.
Get off my lawn.
Vaughn. Okay, got it.
So to give you that's the New York accent. So to give you an idea, Jimmy Vaughn at 15 years old was an opening act for Jimi Hendrix. And Janis Joplin heard him and told him to come from Dallas out to San Francisco. And he did. So this is like as a teen. The guy's got chops and he's only gotten better since then. But he doesn't always get all the attention that he should get for the skills he has. So I recently got to interview him and we put his stuff out and we try and put videos out with his music when we put it out. And it goes out onto social media and all these different things. And I always try and connect, just like, look, so Mel came out one day. She gets it. She came out and helped us out of the gig one time. The one we played with CJ Ramon.
Mm-hmm.
So when you came out, I could tell right away you knew all the things to do. You're like, well, I got a book and I got this. And if you're going to get people for your email list, I'm like, exactly. So here's my book. So you brought one that we could use, but I have my own. And here, do this. And we do all these things. Tonight, you were like, okay, share this when we get it out so more people can see it. I'm like, yeah, exactly. Like, you get it. So that's what I'm trying to tell these bigger artists sometimes. Like, we still got to do this. And every now and then we get lucky and things get spread out. So I'll tell you this story and you'll be like, I apologize for the first name that comes out of my mouth on this. So Miley Cyrus has a new album. Guests on the album, Stevie Nicks, Billy Idol, Joan Jett. So Stevie, Billy, and Joan fit classic rock. So I put together a blog. I wrote it up about it, put it out there on social media, and somewhere somebody picked it up. I don't know who. Somebody shared it, and next thing I know, in about 48 hours, I had like about 13,000 page views on the blog. So it's like, that's one of the ways to get the music out there. I mean, it's just, you look at the different stations, you have to judge by what they do. Some of it's by genre, some of it's by the fact that they're not going to play independent unsigned artists, or they're just not going to play new music. Mm-hmm. But it's a business, and it's just like, I know you guys know that this is a music business by the way you approach it, because you understand the business side too, and you're trying to do all these different things. People don't realize that about radio. So if I went into work tomorrow and tried to be, which would never be able to happen, just be like, I don't feel like playing the stuff I normally play. I'm going to play just, something totally different. Like, it's not going to happen.
Bye, Joe.
Right. And I explained it to people like this. If I owned a deli and every day I sold 50 bologna sandwiches and 50 ham sandwiches, and then one day I woke up and said, you know what? Ham is better than bologna. So when I go into work today and I prep, we're going to make 75 ham sandwiches and 25 bologna sandwiches. At the end of the day, I'm going to have 25 ham sandwiches that I have to throw away because nobody bought them. And I'm going to have 25 pissed off customers who don't come back the next day or might not come back the next day. So you have to approach those things and think about it. And that's, that's what's happening.
Yeah. You have to know your audience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now, you guys were also used to doing so many promotional things. I mean, BAB had so many events going on. And I'm sure with your other radio stations, I don't know if they were as heavy with that as well. But I know BAB for sure, it was constantly events. And now none of that is happening either. What are those crews?
We found ways to make connections and do stuff. I mean, look, this is the deal when it comes to WBAB. We're Long Islanders. We live here on the island. This is what we do. This is our home. So we get it. So like one of the things that we did recently, our morning show, Roger and JP teamed up with a Long Island brewery, which is Long Ireland Brewery, and they made their own beer, Hospitality IPA. And it's named that for a couple of different reasons. One, because of the hops. The other thing, to make it sound like hospitality, because money from that went to hospitality workers who've taken a really, really big hit. And who knows how many more times they're going to get slammed. So we did an event where it was a drive-through that people could come by the station and drive through contactless, buy your beer, and then go. And that's what we did. So we still had, we still talk to everybody every day. It was like really funny because when the whole pandemic started, like nobody knew what anybody else was doing. The connection that we normally had was just so different. So I was telling people like, listen, you know what? Call me up. You got no one to talk to? Call me up. Talk to me. I'll talk to you. Saying that on the air and telling people they could like, look, you want to leave a message on the open mic for our app, you can do that. I don't have to play it on the air. It doesn't have to be a request. You just want to talk to somebody, do it. And there's one guy, and I'm sure he totally was freaked out because he left a message on the open mic of the app and he left his phone number. And he's like, yeah, man, like I'm driving upstate and, if you want to give a call, give a call. So I did. And he picked the phone. I'm like, hello. I'm like, hey, you know what this is? And he's like, no, who? And I'm like, Joe Rock. And he's like, get out of here, man. But it's like, look, you know what? I get it. I got it. And I understood. And then, after a while, it was like, okay, I listen to a lot of people. Now I got to find somebody to talk to. And little by little, I would also do it with the stuff that I said on the air. I wasn't just going to all of a sudden, vomit my whole life out on the radio. That's not how it goes. But every now and then, like one of the experiences I remember is it's tough for the people who aren't out there to know, like I'd get on the road and drive to work and there's nobody on the road. Like I'm an aggressive driver and I'm used to cursing at people and driving like a maniac on the way to work. And I'm going to work and there's nobody to curse at and there's no one to get in my way. And I'm driving, yeah, I know, right? Sounds like a big complaint.
Damn.
Driving westbound on Sunrise Highway coming into the Oakdale merge. And there's a Harley dealer. And right next to the Harley dealer there in Oakdale, there's a car dealership that has a big American flag. And there's a rainbow coming down across Sunrise Highway into the flag. And I just driving in, I'm like, wow, that just made me feel better, seeing a rainbow, seeing the flag, seeing these symbols that we know. And I just got to work and I just had to tell people, like the first thing I had to tell people about was the rainbow that I saw coming in, because, I mean, one of the things I think that's been better overall about the pandemic is I think it slowed people down and got more of a connection. I mean, yeah. We cross paths. How many times do we see each other? Who knows where? I mean, the first time we met 2/3 of you was at like 4:00 in the morning in a diner.
I was going to say we should tell the story about how I just randomly walked up to you at the Massapequa diner and met you.
I'll never forget that.
Hey, you guys are the band? Yes.
We're like sitting there trying to figure out who you guys are. We're like, they look so familiar. We know that. Where do we know them from? We're like, and like we hear you guys, because you were like the next table over. You weren't right there. I'm like, his voice sounds really familiar, and that guy looks really. Who are they? And Annie used to work at the theater at 5 Times. She's going, maybe they were in a cover band that I did lights for. And then we go and we meet you, and you're like, yeah, we are in a cover band. But then we realized like you guys are in other bands too, other than the cover band, and you're in the radio and everything. Like that's where we know them from.
Yeah, but it's just so funny. Like that was like literally like 4:30 in the morning at the Massapequa diner. I just went up to you guys then with I think it was like Mark and
Johnny.
Yeah, and we just kept the connection with you guys for so many years now. But it's just so funny. I just realized that I was just like, I'm gonna go up to them and say, you guys are in a band.
You look like you're in a band. You look familiar.
Yeah, we definitely have that trait, though. It's like, and it's like, I'm sure it wasn't hard to overhear us in the diner because, you can be raucous.
Yeah. Well, then, yeah, and of course I would probably be like, oh, we just played a show. We're in a band. What? I think actually.
Well, we talked about that right away because, like, the next week you guys came down and at least one of you sat in with us.
Mm-hmm.
I know Mel sat in with us. I don't remember if you got up and played that time.
I didn't sit on anything. No.
And I think that was definitely pre-Roxy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah. I just heard Bruce snort. Is he behind you? Oh,
right here.
Hey, bud.
He's sleeping.
Good morning.
Actually, I think our last band dinner was at the Massapequa Diner, maybe. That might have been the last time I went out to a restaurant. I think it was.
Diner.
Yeah. I think it was. The last time I had eggs in public.
Yeah, me too.
Now, Joe, when was your last gig?
I think it was February 13th, I think. That was our last time at the Paramount, opening up for 38 Special, and shortly after that, just everything fell apart.
So, have you been writing any new music? Well,
actually, I have been, and the funny thing about that is, I don't like to write songs. I like to have a song finished. I don't like actually writing it. And then I probably mentioned a million times over that I'm a huge Springsteen fan. So Springsteen released a new album, Letter to You, and I got the album and I was listening to it. And then all of a sudden one day I started thinking about some lines. And normally what happens is I'll think about it. I'll try to ignore it because I don't want to actually write a song. And then, unless it really forces me to, I won't write it. But this one kept nagging at me. So I wrote down just a couple lines, and then a couple more came and a couple more came. And I've been trying to do more co-writes just to try and make it easier, like, make the responsibility somebody else's. So I got in touch with my guitar player, Lou Carollo, and I'm like, Lou, what if I sent you some lyrics? Think you could write music to it? And he's like, let me see what you got. I'm like, okay. So I sent it to him and he started working on it. So yeah, so I got some stuff that's coming up, which is like, okay, but like I said, I don't like this part of it. I don't like writing. I like having written.
Nice.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of, I guess you'd say, self-doubt that comes along with songwriting, because it's like you always think it's not good enough, or you just keep revamping it to, you want to be better and better to the point where you're like, are we ever going to finish this song, or are we just going to keep rewriting it?
This is the song that never starts.
Well, it's funny because I have one song. I wrote one song about my mother. She's gone since 1988. She's gone since 1988. So I wrote a song about my mom, and most of the time when I play it, I'd only play it like solo acoustic. And I can't tell you how many times I'll play it somewhere, and then somebody will come up to me after my set crying, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do for you. Like, I'm sorry I started this, but I don't know how to stop it. So that one, I'm really cut. I got a couple that I'm kind of confident of, and then the others I'm just kind of like, it's like I wrote it. I guess I'm not the guy to judge my stuff because if I'm judging, this is funny because the band, the Georgia Satellites, had the big hit, "Keep Your Hands to Yourself."
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, all right. So I remember them doing an interview when their first album came out, and they were like, listen, last week we were playing in bars. This week our album came out and everybody's comparing us to Springsteen. Like, that's not a fair comparison. I was a bar band last week, and this week you're trying to compare my stuff to his. That's not fair. And I'm like, all right, that makes sense. So when I'm used to all these other songs that I play and I can see how the audience reacts to them and they know them, and then I play my stuff and I'm trying to gauge it, it's like, I don't know what's going on here. But, luckily, having now done a lot of repeat gigs with some of the nationals that we've played with, that we've been in front of more audiences that don't know us as well, but they remember us for the last time. I feel like their reactions, I'm like, okay, they remember it. They heard it before. They liked it. Now they're kind of like, oh, I hope they play that song again, and like, all right, cool. So now I feel like we're really starting to build something. It's like, look, at my age, I'm not expecting I'm going to wake up one day and be a rock star. I don't think that's going to happen. I just want to have fun doing this.
Well, it's like when you first hear a band say for the first time, like you don't necessarily know what they're all. You might have like a good idea of what they're about, but you didn't hear every lyric, like you didn't hear everything. So when they start to, it's like see you more and more, and then they're like, oh yeah, okay, cool. I really like that one. I like the lyrics there because they're able to like start, because like when I first see a band, I'm like, cool, yeah, I like the whole, like you're kind of grasping the whole part of that band and not like. Because it's a new thing. You're like, what's this about? Cool, Yeah,
that familiarity really plays a big part. 'Cause, like you said, when you're playing covers, you see people dancing and singing along, but that could also happen even if they don't like the song, if it's a cover song. They just know it. How many times do you walk into a bar and you hear a band, a cover band playing something, and you're like, oh, I know the song, and you start singing along to it. But if someone is singing along to your original song, then you can really gauge, okay, they actually like this, or, if they're dancing along to it, whatever. Because if they don't know it and they still like it, now you're in unfamiliar territory and they're still enjoying it. So it's, very, very different realm of gauging that between covers and originals, definitely.
Yeah. Well, it's also made me happy, too, to get to have, like, certain artists who we play with, like, come up and say stuff. Like, so 38 Special now, we've played with them a few times. If they had a Hold On Loosely, they had Caught Up in You, they had What If I'd Been the One, they had Rockin' Into the Night. Like, you list all these songs, they're all like written by the singer, Don Barnes. And I get done my set and Don comes up to me and starts talking to me about what we played. I'm like, that's like, I don't always think of it in that instance, but then when I look back on it and kind of put it in those terms, I'm like, all right, okay.
So now, aside from playing music, writing songs, doing radio work, have you developed any new random hobbies during quarantine? Have you started baking any bread or?
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. It's
doing any puzzles?
So I'm going to tell you a funny story. My wife's going to be upset I tell you the story. So, she gets this puzzle. She does the whole puzzle, gets it done. Puts it on a board, puts it underneath a bed in one of our spare bedrooms. We have a Roomba. You know a Roomba?
Oh, no.
So it's the vacuum that operates on its own. And she sets the vacuum out, and it goes underneath the bed and, like, wrecks part of the puzzle. So we go and we're searching all around. We find almost all the pieces except search and search some more. Finally found it, but it was so funny. It was like such a big thing. Like, oh my God, it's got the puzzle.
What was the theme of the puzzle?
It was a Mickey Mouse thing.
Nice.
We're a Disney family.
Nice. I did a 2,000 piece Las Vegas puzzle that took me way too long to do because I would only do it for a half hour or something at night or whatever. Yeah. And then we did a at-home music video, and the puzzle was thrown at me at the video. But then I gave the puzzle to Mel to do.
I haven't even started it. Looking at the box is just too intimidating.
And I'm still finding pieces throughout, so I keep putting them in the baggies. And whenever I see Mel, I give her a new baggie with 2 pieces left.
It's one of those puzzles that it has so many buildings on it, and you can tell that there's going to be so many pieces that just look exactly the same, like the lights in every window of a skyscraper. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, it was a rough one. That was part of my quarantine that I don't want to speak about.
Yeah, my only puzzle was just put together. I just recently put together a snowblower.
Ooh, that'll be handy. And what on tomorrow?
Wednesday night.
Yeah, Wednesday night, Thursday. Yeah, so yeah.
Gotta get the bread and milk.
I'm not gonna be able to go anywhere for days. I'm on crutches right now, so I don't know how you can walk in snow on those.
Why are you in crutches?
Mel had her foot cut off. You didn't hear?
I'm a peg leg pirate now. I got foot surgery. I figured, quarantine's a good time to take care of some surgeries that I've been putting off for a couple of years.
Hi-hat foot or
traveling anywhere.
Yeah, what?
Hi-hat foot or bass drum foot?
Bass drum foot. And driving foot. So I'm just...
Oh, well, if you set up a double kick pedal, then...
No, it's still that foot.
Wait.
No, it's the left foot.
No.
Well, both, but yeah.
Yeah, but then you're
set up an extender to...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Solved.
And totally reteach yourself how to play.
Yeah.
I actually do play lefty a lot because when I teach, I have some students who are lefty. So I like to demonstrate the way that they're going to play. And just like for practice, I feel like it's good for your brain to just teach yourself, new things as far as that. And I'm ambidextrous anyway. Like I can write with both hands. So I always just try to play drums lefty. Just see what happens.
That's weird.
You'd have to change the strings around.
You have to play the guitar upside
down.
You
don't really have to. I mean, some people play upside down. I played with... You've probably seen us with the left-handed guy who used to play with us. He may have bought left-handed guitars, but then strung them righty so that they were upside down. So I played with other guys upside down and backwards, and the worst thing in the world is like we'll be playing a song I'm not completely familiar with. And I remember looking at this one guy on a gig one time playing an upside down right-handed guitar, and he's like, "Don't look at my hands, don't look at my hands, don't look at my hands." And I look at his hands, and I'm like, "What are you playing?" Like I'm playing upside down and backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Matthew in the chat said it snowed big time here. What state is he in?
I'm not sure.
What state are you in, Matthew?
Let us know where everyone's tuning in from.
Oh, snow crutches. Is that a thing? That should be a thing, like snowshoes?
Yeah, isn't that like what it is? Don't they have like the that thing on the bottom? Like that netting?
Skiing?
No, not skiing. Like it's like long distance snow running. Is that it?
What?
It looks like
she's talking about snowshoes. It looks like a giant
like net kind of
racket.
but
looks
yeah,
like a giant tennis racket.
Yeah.
One of those things.
Those are snowshoes. Matthew said he's in Oklahoma.
And we got Mel. Hi, Mel from Minnesota. Haven't seen you guys in a while. So hello, everyone.
Hello. Bruce is so snorty.
I know. Can you stop? What are you doing? Can you stop?
He's giving you the side eye there.
I know. He always does, yeah. I think the last time you saw it, I said it before, you're like, I know who he is. And I'm like, I brought him to Jones Beach last time. I think I saw you. I had him at front of house with me.
Was that the time that there was a giant flood?
No.
We had to escape through tunnels.
That was with I don't know if you were there with the Boston tour. Were you at that show?
Yes.
Remember that flood was bad that time there. We couldn't get off the stage. We had to go in the tunnel, which was also flooding, which is like disgusting. It's like so gross. There were guys stuck in a truck because there was a huge flooding thing, and they're just like, we can't get out. We're stuck here until it all goes away.
That was when we learned some interesting history about that venue. That apparently that used to be like a boatway. It was a moat where they used to have boats come in. And
you didn't know that?
No. I had no idea until that day.
I think that was my first time I was ever there. Was that
really?
Show. Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't grow up in Long Island, so I had no use to come to Jones Beach. Really.
Yeah. I used to go to all like the Big Line, the summer jams and everything there.
Summer Jam, our sister station.
I saw Britney Spears there when I was little.
Yeah, and when Staten Island, we just went to the city, I guess, to shows.
I went to Jones Beach.
You did?
My first show I saw there. Yeah, I saw The Cure there.
Who else was on that bill?
I have no idea. It was like 20 years ago.
And we used to, like, whenever we couldn't get tickets, if it was sold out, we would just go hang out on the beach and just listen to the music because you could hear it from there. Or we'd hang out, like, in the parking lot on the bay side. You could hear it from there.
I remember those days.
They have car parties. Tailgating.
Everyone's coming in from everywhere.
Yeah.
San Diego. Yes. Well, we're gonna wrap it up in a few minutes. So if anyone has any last-minute questions, feel free to throw them in there now. Oh, a snowshoe. That's what they are called, official.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything coming up you would like to plug? Anything like that? And you guys could all find Joe Rock at joe-rock.com.
I wish I had something coming up. I don't. Just, if you're on Long Island, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., WBAB 102.3, or you can stream at WBAB.com, or you can even download the WBAB app.
Nice.
That sounds pretty rehearsed. I want to say you've said that.
I feel like I've said that somewhere before.
That's smooth. That's so good. Yeah.
Well, and you know what? I'll give you this. I have one gig that I'm told I have, and the only thing I can tell you is the date. So
Okay.
September 23rd, 2021. Put that on your calendar, and sometime in the future, I'll let you know the details.
Mystery show.
Is it on Long Island or in Long Island?
It's on Long Island.
We also...
And it's actually going to take place in a village on Long Island.
Oh.
Is that a hint?
That's the best of the hint you're going to get. And yes, Matthew, I love pinball machines.
We also have a show in September of 2021 on September 25th with Bowling for Soup in New Jersey.
Nice. What venue?
Union County
Performing Arts Center.
Broadway, New Jersey. Yeah.
Nice.
I didn't know if I should say UC PAC, but then I was like, let me say the whole thing.
I like Bowling for Soup.
Yeah, we do. We were supposed to play with them on March 14th, and then it was...
Then it was postponed until this September, and then postponed again until next September.
Yeah.
Been there.
So we'll see if that actually happens.
So we'll follow your date to see if our date might
There you
happen.
go.
Is it with Bowling for Soup? No, I'm just kidding. Can we guess who
Mystery
it is?
Bands. The band's name is Mystery Band.
No,
No.
if you could guess who it is, let me see what's a hint I could give you. I'm going to give you a hint that you'll probably never get.
Okay.
At one point in time, this band was part of a Budweiser commercial.
Another hint. Should I check an itinerary of mine? No.
No, probably not. No. But if that comes available, we jump on that in a heartbeat. Although I'm going to then, because this is funny, because like when we play for national acts, I go almost exclusively on my own songs, but occasionally I'll pull out a cover for a closer. And one of the closures we do, if it was on your itinerary, she'd be upset if we played it.
Nice.
Well, you have to figure that that's the one where you get the crossover because it was written by Springsteen, but Joan recorded it. And we do it too.
Light of Day.
There you go.
Okay. It's Mel's favorite drum beat, right?
Is it the Chemical Brothers?
No, it's not the Chemical Brothers. Are you Googling like
I'm Googling Budweiser commercials.
That was a great guess. Great guess. I feel like we should end on that. I don't know if anyone can top that. Get Roxy, you got another stinger in there? No. Well, we know who it isn't.
Who it isn't.
No, Matthew, it's not the Goo Goo Dolls.
No? Okay.
Yeah, if it came to the Goo Goo Dolls, I would make them open for us. I'm just saying. I'm not a fan. I'm sorry, Johnny Resnick. I don't know what the deal is. Come on, man. Like, change a tone, hit a high note or something. Do something faster than these.
Is it the Bee Gees?
No, I don't think they ever did a Budweiser commercial either. But I will tell you this, Matthew, because you asked the question about the pinball machines. My favorite pinball machine of all time, the Black Knight. That's for old school pinball guys.
Have you ever been to the Pinball Museum in Vegas?
I have not, but I definitely got to check that out. Pinball's just it's too cool and it's too much of a lost art.
They're fun. Although the museum is not. It's literally just like a warehouse filled with pinball machines from,
Can you play them, or they're just
you
cool.
you play all of them, and they have them from different like time periods, like it goes in order. But as far as like a Vegas like pinball museum, and you expect like big things in lights, and you're like, oh, it's a warehouse full of pinball machines. Okay, like you expect like a big like show or whatever, and it's Let
me guess, it's got to be down by Freeman Street where they have all the old neon signs.
I think it's close to yeah. Oh, Journey. Is it Journey?
It's not Journey. Journey's not even Journey anymore.
Is it ZZ Top?
No, I wish.
I'd say Queen, but it can't be that.
You're getting on the right track when you kind of go more by ZZ Top. But just for the record, Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top and I share a birthday, which is coming up on Wednesday, and you'll be able to see my video I put out on social media. Billy and I hanging out.
Nice.
So.
Neil Young.
No. And Neil Young said he wouldn't sing for Bud. That's the whole thing in this note's for you. I won't sing for Bud. I'm not even sure what that last one's supposed to be there.
I don't know either, Mommy.
Yes, I'm not sure what that is.
I'm not sure either.
Maybe she's telling us to ask our mothers if they know the answer.
Oh, what about one of Mel's favorites? Spin Doctors.
No, it's not. But I love the Spin Doctors. I get the feeling that that's some kind of inside joke I missed. But
no, it's her favorite.
I love the Spin Doctors, and I warm up to singing Two Princes before every show, just because I love singing the bitty bitty. If that doesn't cheer you up and get you ready to play a show, I don't know what does.
Neil Diamond.
No, but if you want, I can show you a picture of Neil Diamond and I from the Songwriters Hall of Fame inductions a couple of years ago.
Oh, nice.
Neil actually came and performed, and this was after he was already sick, and everyone was like, and he was a nice guy, came by, shook my hand.
Cool. Very nice. I'm not going to go and Google Budweiser commercials. Maybe I will later. I was going to ask this too. Another Mel favorite, Twisted Sister.
I don't think they did Budweiser commercials, though.
They did not. And actually, I honestly, for a while there, I thought for sure the band was definitely going to get back and do more stuff. Mm-hmm. And the more time goes on, the less likely I think it seems. But JJ French from Twisted Sister just started doing a podcast, The French Connection. Mm-hmm. And you'll be interested to know his very first guest was Mike Portnoy for Mel, for the drummers. And, and he's got a book coming out next year, Twisted Business. So,
cool.
Dream Theater was actually one of the shows that I sat in the parking lot at Jones Beach to listen to the concert because it was sold out. So I heard Mike Portnoy play, but I didn't see him play.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that Elton John's a no.
Yeah, Elton's a no. We would be too rock for his crowd. I'm just saying.
I did see Elton John in concert once.
I would probably go see him. I
would appreciate it more now that I'm older. Like I would have loved to see.
Yeah, there's definitely bands that you don't appreciate when you're younger and you get older, and you're like, like somebody as a joke mentioned the Bee Gees before. Like when they came out, I was, like when the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack was hot, I was like, this sucks. I hate this. And now years later, I listen to them like, wow, there's some cool stuff going on these songs, man. These guys can play. And like the band Chic, Nile Rodgers and Chic, like I had no use for them when they came out, but I listened to them now and I'm like, wow, man, they got some cool stuff going on, some cool grooves, and they could play. It's still not necessarily my favorite style of music, but man, they can play.
Fleetwood Mac?
Nope. I'll give you one more hint.
Okay.
The band's name also has a state in it.
Kansas.
No.
I'm just kidding. That's the first thing that popped.
Just gonna start naming every state.
All right, now we're getting crazy.
Alabama.
Billy Joel, Metallica, or the Sex Pistols?
No, no, and no.
That doesn't have a state.
But I'd play with 2 out of the 3, and I'm sure you can't guess which is the one that I wouldn't.
You played with?
I would play with 2
Oh,
out of
you
the
would.
3.
I was like, oh, wait, is this guess who you did open for? Because out of the 3, I would say Billy Joel you would have opened for, just because of what are we? Oh, Alabama.
Oh, that's what I just said.
Nope.
I think we've got a
We're gonna get you in trouble if we keep guessing.
I don't think there's any way anybody's going to get it.
No,
because you just haven't been. You've been kind of in the area, but not really close. Not the Georgia Satellites. They're not together anymore. But I have opened for Dan Baird from the band with his current band, Dan Baird and Homemade Sin.
Oh, that's a tongue twister.
Yeah,
right?
But a killer band. And I actually, Dan's birthday was yesterday, the day before. Just put a picture of us up from that show up on my Facebook page. So
the Alabama Shakes.
No.
Florida Georgia Line.
Did you just look up band names?
Please.
Oh, is it Boston?
Line. This is my Boston is a city, not a state.
Yes, Boston's a city, not a state.
So this is what I say about Florida Georgia Line. They combined country and rap. And that quite literally comes out to be crap when you combine them. America is not a state; it's a country.
Oh, man.
Oh boy! All right. On that note, I guess we'll wrap it up. Thank you so much for chatting with us tonight. Everyone, make sure you go follow @JoeRockNY. I believe is most of your handles.
Yes.
Correct. Okay,
Yep.
And then everything you can find on joe-rock.com.
There you go.
Thank you for tuning in with us.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. All right. Well, everyone, have a good week. We'll see you next time. Oh, we'll see you on Thursday. We're going to do a holiday game show. So everyone tune in. We'll be back on the internets then. All right. See you all next time.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.